Hien Siskel was a prominent film critic from the 1970s to his death in the 1990s. Having a knack for journalism from a young age, he became Chicago Tribune's film critic at the age 23 in 1969. Siskel is often credited for changing the overall attitude that often came along with the film criticism from a more elitist type of journalism to something the average everyday person could understand and enjoy. He was partners with Roger Ebert on their television show, Opening Sue at a Theater Near You. The show eventually became so popular that the audiences would enjoy the critics' banter than their actual dissection of the film. The two of them also advocated for the NC-17 rating on more adult pieces.
Well, Roger, this is also my choice as the best film of 1994. It's the best picture that I saw. It has the greatest reach of any film.
Siskel greatly enjoyed Hoop Dreams, which he voted was the best film of 1994, as well as Raging Bull, which he stated was the best film of the 1980s.
Finally, here is my choice for the number one, the year's best film. It is Raging Bull, the story of fighter Jake LaMotta, as played by Robert De Niro and told by director Martin Scorsese. It's really the story of urban violence and how it springs from people who know no other way of getting themselves heard.
His ultimate favorite film would be The Godfather, where he is quoted saying, "Hearing the sadness and nostalgia of the movie's main theme, I realized what the music was telling us. Things would have turned out better if we had only listened to The Godfather." This
is the rare case of where a book, and it was a pop culture book, has been transfigured by Coppola into something far greater than that.
Well, now it is pop culture, but I read The Godfather and I couldn't put it down. It's just a heck of a good story.
But you know that this is a greater movie than it is a book.
Well, that goes without saying. When we come back...
I said it.
Well, then you said it. Okay, and I agree.
Friday the 13th. You may only see it once, but that will be enough. Friday the 13th.
One of his most hated films that he critiqued was the original Friday the 13th, which he wrote, "It has been suggested to me that a great way to keep people from seeing a truly awful movie is to tell them the ending." And Siskel then proceeded to spoil the third act reveal in the third paragraph of his critique. Siskel disliked it so much that he advised people to write letters of complaint to the producers as well as the production studios along with the main actress of the film. Both Siskel and Ebert advocated for audiences to not see Friday the 13th and similar slasher films that would lead to controversy amongst the horror genre fans and makers.
Who made this movie ought to be ashamed of themselves, and that's what I think, Gene.
Yeah.
And I'm going to vote no.
I had a feeling you might. I got as upset as you did. I don't know whether the teenagers, the message will be of this film that the world is hopeless out there, because I think that anybody who sees this picture will see it either the way you did and I did, which is that it's just a mayhem film. You might as well watch car accidents edited together. It's garbage.
They're coming in.
Siskel will forever be a person remembered by the film community as he greatly paved the way for future film critics and how films were criticized. He was the person behind the thumbs up, thumbs down gesture, and the influence that he had would later spark the invention of Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, along with other modern-day film critiques. Because of his roots in journalism, Siskel always put the value of the written word before his television personality, and audiences were able to trust his reviews as there was no sugarcoating or beating around the bush.
And until then, we'll see you at the movies.